Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first premiere episode of The Everyday Nerd, the podcast without anybody special, without anybody who is a professional reviewer or professional game player or says they are because they won $5 playing Call of Duty. This is the podcast about the consumer, from the voice that matters, but is seldom ever listened to, even though people should. I am your host, Paul, and I am here with my beautiful wife, Kat, and my two very best friends in the whole world, the dynamic heterosexual duo, Gus and Andy. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Wow, that was awesome.
Thank you. That was like an introduction. That was pretty.
So you like the introduction?
Yeah, that was actually beautiful.
It didn't make you feel uncomfortable.
I honestly feel like it did me justice. It did me really well. Like it did me so well.
You guys are like Batman and Robin, but without being lovers.
I wouldn't put that past us.
I don't like being insulted in the introduction.
Wait, should I call Andy your ward, Gus? Is that the proper term for it?
I'm not quite sure exactly where it wouldn't be appropriate to go.
Okay,
We're talking me and Andy, or Andy and I.
Just make sure your ward's not a junkie. Because, I mean, that happened to Oliver Queen once, and it turned out disastrous.
Yeah, well...
That's funny.
Do I get a say in this?
Absolutely not.
Well,
this
is great so far.
I think the difference between myself and Oliver Queen is, I don't know, maybe about $52 billion.
It's true. Although you do have superb archer skills and great pecs. So,
I do. I really do.
I've seen you do those thingies where you like hang from a bar and then like pop yourself up on another ledge. This is pretty impressive. And then flip down and shoot an arrow through a tennis ball that's bouncing. I've seen it.
3 tennis balls.
Three tennis balls, sorry. So you pulled the Robin Hood shot.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, the rest of us mere mortals would like to know who all of you guys are. Since this is our very first podcast, some of you might know Gus. Some of you, probably most of you know Andy. Andy, what's your online tag?
The entire world should know me. My name is Bull and I'm also known as Bull the Hot Slut, if anyone has ever played any game with me.
Are you serious? Really?
He's such a hot slut, you wouldn't understand.
You would not understand.
No, I don't understand, because I know you. Okay,
you know half of me.
Well, yeah, the top half.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm not even sure that's true anymore, but okay.
Actually, no,
That's not.
I'm not gonna get into that. Or am I gonna get into what happens in North Park?
Stays in North Park.
So I want you guys. I'm gonna kind of give you guys a brief introduction. I'm just gonna kind of tell you your name. I'm gonna tell you your name, but I want you to tell everybody out there who you are, what kind of gamer are you, what are your credentials to be the everyday nerd. Okay? So let's start off with our most beautiful member of the group, and that would be Kat.
Hello, I'm Kat.
Who likes to sing her name often.
Yes. I don't know. What do you guys want to know about me?
How long have you been gaming?
Gosh, since I got my first Nintendo, since I was like little. I don't know. Can't remember that far back.
Well, what's your first console?
My first console was a Nintendo NES.
NES, okay. Mm-hmm. So, I'm pretty
sure.
Wow,
hardcore.
I know
I am hardcore.
That you weren't playing back in 1983, but I'm assuming maybe 88? 89?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. And what kind of gamer are you? Are you an FPS? Are you an MMO? Like, what kind of gamer are you?
I am a pretty avid gamer. I have dozens of games. I've gone through dozens of consoles. I preferably like my first-person shooters, but I have, gotten into more other games as well. I love the BioShock series. I love the Halo series. I love the Batman games. Going back even further to, Nintendo games, I've played pretty much every single, Mario game that you guys can think of. I mean, I owned a GameCube. I had one of those. I played Luigi's Mansion. I've done pretty much everything you could think of in gaming, pretty much. I even had a Dreamcast, people. A Dreamcast. Any of you guys remember that?
Yeah, but you have a Sega.
Yeah, I did have a Sega. But I also had a Dreamcast.
Okay,
His Dreamcast was awesome.
I was smart and bought a PlayStation before that kind of tanked.
Yeah, I didn't have that luxury. Rich boy.
Okay, alright, so we'll have our probably our most notorious and most censored person on the show, the one that will probably get us kicked off of Twitch, YouTube, and the internet in general, Andy.
Why would you tell people that? I am probably the no, just no, I agree, I don't agree with that. But anyway, is it my turn now?
Yes, yes it is, Andy.
Oh my god. Well.
Are we paying attention?
Yeah, we are. Anyway, my first console, anyway, my name is W.O.W. That's my gamer tag. But my full name is Andres Angulo.
For those of you who don't speak Spanish, that means Andy. For those of you who don't speak
Andy.
Spanish.
Gosh, I feel like I can't get through without any interruptions.
Of course,
sorry.
that's why it's a podcast and not an interview.
Anyway, my first console and probably the one game I remember the most on it was Nintendo. But if anyone here remembers Contra.
Oh yeah. Well, what kind of gamer do you think you are?
Hold on. What kind of Contra are we doing? You can't just throw a name like Contra and not explain. Are you talking about the NES, the very attractive Contra, or where are we going with
the
this?
Nintendo Contra?
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
That's what I said for those who know it.
That's amazing.
And,
that's a beautiful game. Honestly. That's great. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, that's where I would say, I had my roots. That's where I started playing. Honestly, if it wasn't for my good friend Gustavo here that introduced me into, this very lovely game called RuneScape, a PC game, my entire gaming, history / personality / type of gamer that I became would be completely different. That kind of got me into the grindy games, which is what I am kind of, addicted to now. Which is probably why I don't agree with many console players, like Paul, for example, who loves playing Halo.
Okay. So do you consider yourself a PC gamer?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. And Kat, what's your console of choice?
My console of choice right now is Xbox. Since owning an Xbox, have always been very, very passionate about Xbox and Microsoft, and I will continue to buy their products because I love gaming on their systems. So.
Okay. And finally, a man that really doesn't need much of an introduction, simply because of the fact that, he's not a man, he's more of a bear.
Yeah.
So, Gustavo, aka Gus, aka Gus Gus, aka DJ Clap Your Hands, with a Z.
Thank you. With a Z. Yeah, there we go.
Tell us a little about you. What's your more or less your gaming credentials?
All right. Well, I'm actually I guess I would put myself core. I'm more of a core gamer. For those of you who aren't sure of the lingo there. That's somewhere between a casual and a hardcore gamer. I'm like right in the middle. I'm more of the, I have a wide range.
In between.
There is an in between, and it's called me. I'm the in between. Anyway, so, now I have
broke that barrier.
I am that, there is no barriers. I'm a bear. Bears don't have barriers.
That's why they call them bearers.
Bearers. I'm the bearer of barriers. Or the barrier. Anyways, so,
this got
so I'm more
existential really fast.
Yeah.
Very existential.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the great thing about being a core gamer, I guess, is just the idea that I don't have to suffer by being called a casual gamer, nor do I have to be put in that same lot of the hardcore gamer. Now, I play a wide variety. PlayStation, very little Xbox. I do a lot of PC games. I mean, I've gone everywhere from World of Warcraft to, let's just say, Flappy Bird. But we're not going to get into that right now. That'll be a topic for another day. Now, I've been gaming. I would say I picked up my first controller, which was actually purchased by my parents one Christmas. It was the Super Nintendo that actually came with the Killer Instinct game.
Just came out to Xbox.
Which just came out to Xbox. Now, that's the first one that I was ever able to own. Granted, I had a neighbor who I would go over and play Nintendo, Duck Hunt, Contra, we do a lot of
Duck Hunt.
Yep, Duck Hunt for those of you who.
And the only thing I remember from that game is a damn dog.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. One thing that's really, I guess that's about the longevity of my gaming. But that's all I would really have to say about myself. I think the rest of me, I'm just an open book. So all you have to do is just ask away.
Not ask.
Okay. Well,
close the book.
I myself am, I'm Paul, and I am, well, actually, my full name is actually, Lawrence Paul Zenz, third of his name, and Lord and Warden of North County, San Diego. My first console was actually the NES. And the first game that I ever remember blowing my mind was Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mind blowing.
Well, I'm sorry, Super Mario Brothers, for those who actually care about naming names.
I have a feeling someone seriously just in their mind was like Super Mario Brothers.
Well, if you don't, if you just say Mario, you can't, like you gotta have the Super, the 3, or the 1,
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, the first game was the game, and I got the double pack, with my Xbox. It came with Duck Hunt.
Wow.
And you got a controller, the Nintendo, the double game, and then you also got the cool gun, which, that blew my mind. Like, how does it know?
I remember that gun.
I still don't understand how that technology works. How do they know?
I'm pretty sure.
Mind.
I'm pretty sure you understand now. But if anyone out there ever had that gun and just walked up to the screen and cheated with it, don't lie. I know everyone here has.
And okay, and then I
moments
remember
you do.
The first time I hit an invisible block, and it was like ding, gold coin. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I've got to hit every single block right now.
Yeah, and at some point you were no longer walking through the stages. You were literally jumping through the stages and at very short. Yep. Oh, goodness. Slapping your tail.
Extremely OCD. I don't think I'm even that bad.
But
wow.
The thing is, the first couple times, I remember this very distinctly. The first couple times I played that game, I remember that I was dodging the yellow stars coming at me. Because anything that's a star and blinking can't be good. It's going to explode, right?
Typically, that's how I treat life.
Okay.
I think you'll be alone on that one. I think everyone charged at it head first when they first saw it.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
That freaks me out.
Why does it
To
freak
be
you
honest,
out?
It freaked me out. It just did. I don't know why. It just did. Okay, but if I'm gonna classify myself as a certain kind of gamer, I am an RPG guy. Okay? And unfortunately, I'm not like a JRPG guy. I'm not into the turn-based, the Japanese, RPGs like
Final
Fantasy.
Yeah.
I get bored. Okay?
I don't mind taking turns with Japanese.
That's the thing, is I want them all coming at me at once.
Oh, crap.
God, how am I married to you? Jesus. Okay.
You found them on the internet.
I
Actually,
did.
That's true. That is true.
True story. True story.
That's beautiful.
Oh wow, that's actually. I'm sorry.
Why? I'm not. I married a beautiful girl. You got a problem with that?
I like to watch. Let's just. Oh, I like to listen.
The reason I apologize is because the internet's vile, and I just, and that's where you came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, for some reason Twitch isn't actually broadcasting our voices.
Do you need voices to hear this amazingness?
You can't hear us on Twitch. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. For those of you who can hear us, awesome. For those of you who can't, it will be up on YouTube. It'll be up on YouTube later today as well. Okay. Alright, so let's actually get into this, okay? Let's actually just start getting to know us as gamers. I got a couple questions for you guys. My first question is going to be, what changed your life? What game changed your life? Was there ever a game that it was so amazing, so life-affirming, life-changing that you stopped becoming the guy who likes video games or girl and started becoming the person who devotes hours on end to a game? Was there ever that moment? Do you guys remember the game?
Oh yeah.
So I want to start with somebody who's devoted more time and effort into video games than the rest of the podcast combined. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Probably.
Okay.
Cat.
Andy.
I'm talking about Cat.
Andy?
Of course.
That's I wonder who it could be.
What was that? What was that game for you? Do you remember?
I definitely remember what caused the transition between casual gamer and I guess I could say hardcore gamer or just a very dedicated gamer. And that was RuneScape. Before, you had these games that you would play that you could beat within, one sit-in or a week, and then, that's it. You need another game to pass the time. But when it came to my very first PC game, which my good friend Gus here introduced me to, RuneScape, you play that game and after a week, you just barely wet your feet, you're just barely starting your epic adventure to become the very best the game can offer. You're still very much a noob at that point. Later when I figured it out, it takes, a minimum of 5 years to beat this game. I was like, wow,
5 years? Jesus.
This is something, I could play for a very long time and not feel, like it's gonna end soon,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say it's a never-ending, game feeling, but just the fact that it was so long that the goal just would feel that much better when you got there,
Okay.
I accomplished this.
Okay. And how long ago was that game?
I first started playing RuneScape, help me out here. How long ago was that, Gustavo? You're the one that first introduced me. Was it 10?
I know for a fact it was like 2005, I want to say.
It was like 2005, yeah, I think it was. So, it's like 4, you know what, I can't do math, but that's like,
yeah, what,
9 years ago?
Yeah. I would say it was, wow.
Roughly that long.
I know it was like before high school, was it before? Yeah, it was before high school, way before high school, so it was a couple years before. I think it was like the summer of 6th grade for me, so you had to be like the summer of 7th, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, that's roughly when I first picked up the game and realized it was, you know, a whole new window into gaming than just, you know, the 1 day or 1 week or 1 week long games, which really opened up a whole new world to me.
Okay, and that's RuneScape?
Uh-huh.
Okay, alright, I actually don't know that game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know RuneScape.
Stay away, it's Flex now. It's horrible. They killed the game.
Yeah, they butchered it.
Really?
I would say so.
Butchered.
It's like, it's kind of like when you hear about those people that get like this really intense surgery, like this life-changing surgery, and then they're like, wow, you're such an inspiration, that's so great. But then you find out that the doctor or the surgeon left like tools in them.
Aww.
And you're kind of like, wow, that really sucks. I can't believe you did that.
So let's move on to Kat. What was the game that changed your life?
You know what? A lot of people will probably give me shit for saying this. Sorry. I shouldn't say that word. That's bad. Crap for saying this. Edit!
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah, how do I say it? Mass Effect. Mass Effect changed my life in gaming forever, and I know it's a fairly new game. I mean, it came out it came out a while ago, but, it changed my life in gaming only because, I've strictly at one point only really stuck to third person or first person shooters. I'd played some third person games, but I never really experienced a different type of gaming. When I played that game, it literally changed my whole life only because of the fact that it was not only just an open world, but it was the choices that you made that affect the game. And I thought that was brilliant. You know, the fact that I felt like I was part of that game made it so much more sweeter for me when I finally finished the game. I mean, I was just not only upset because the game was over, but I felt like accomplished. I felt like I was Commander Shepard. I led my team, you know, into this victory, into this battle, and it just made me feel so much more better, I think, as a gamer. And the fact that, I mean, each game, I mean, you could at least put in at least 80 hours of that game, at least, in just one of them. Made it so worth the money of buying it and then so worth having it. And it opened up my eyes to a lot of different games, you know, Oblivion and Dragon Age and Skyrim and, you know, all these other games that I missed out on because I was so scared to attempt to try them because I felt like maybe I would get lost or maybe I wouldn't understand or maybe there was no ending. And since then, I haven't found a game that was so unique as Mass Effect that changed the way gaming is today.
And, how did you come about playing Mass Effect?
Shut up. You know. I came about playing Mass Effect because of my awesome, amazing husband. He was the one that handed it to me and said, you should try this game. I mean, he already knew, I mean, on our first date, when he came over, I was like in the middle of gaming, and in fact, I was so rude that I opened up the door and I was like, oh hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, and went back to playing my game so I could finish it so we could go on a date. And it was kind of like, I mean, for him, it was just like, I'm in love. But, for me, it was like, you know, when he gave me that game, I was like, this is the best game I've ever played in my life. So it changed everything for me.
I have a similar Andy and I have a similar story to that little love story that you just said, but ours involve spoons and syringes.
That sounds interesting.
Very nice.
Was I awake for this?
Probably not.
Probably not.
A lot of things happen while you're passed out, Andy.
Yeah, you should probably seek help.
Okay, so, Gus, what about you?
I'm gonna go kinda cliche on this. Now the reason being is the retro gamer in me is just like, you have to say this, because everybody else is kind of thinking it. Now I'm gonna piggyback on what I'm echoing. I'm gonna piggyback on what, Andy and Kat said. Now, revolutionary game that kinda like kept you wanting more. I mean, the graphics of this time, the gameplay, the sound, the adventure, everything just kind of bunched into one. In my opinion, probably in its time, the most perfect game of its time. And that is Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, now, and I know I just talked that game up, but let me explain now. Now, just like any other Zelda game, you know, it makes you use your mind, you kind of lose yourself in it, you're kind of in it. No, you don't feel like Link, at the time, either there, during, or after, but you're definitely like, it gets you. Like every time that little heart meter, a little heart thing just kept going down, I just kept freaking out, you know, like every single nook and cranny, I just want to throw a bomb at it. Every little cuckoo or chicken, I just wanted to smack it with my sword. Like everything was just so interesting. It was just part of this big world that was kind of like, and there's one thing that always reminded me, was Super Metroid, which kind of is like what got me into Zelda.
Super Metroid is awesome.
Super Metroid, yeah. And that kind of gets your mind going too, but nothing got me like the way A Link to the Past did, and that's why Super Metroid kind of led into it. And Zelda, like the mindset that you get when you play that game is the same mindset I got when I played RuneScape, when I played World of Warcraft, when I played any other thing that I really put myself in. Heck, even Clash of Clans. Like I don't even know how Flappy Bird, but that's a subject for another day also. Now that is the game that this poor child grew up on, loved, never even really fully beat it. Never, you know, and I still have it, and I'm probably going to go back now that I'm thinking about it. I'm actually
that's
staring.
disappointing.
You're disappointing, actually. Can I speak to your mother? Anyways, so, back to, I'm just kidding, that was terrible. Oh my god, Andy, I love you.
Trying to be rude.
But, that's me. Let's just go on to Paul now, because
Now you see, I'm a little different. Mine is actually, it's an evolution. It wasn't just one game that changed my life. It was one game that changed my life that led to the game that changed my life. Does that make any sense?
No, elaborate more a little bit, Paul.
Yeah, just,
I was all about PlayStation. When I got my PlayStation 1, it was amazing. I Maddened 95'd on that thing so hard. It's not, it became, like, my grades dropped when Madden 95 came out. I was PlayStation. And then it was like Metal Gear Solid. But I was the guy who would play for an hour, put my cool little, like, memory stick in, save, and then go back and play for another hour. The most I ever played games was when I was at my dad's house. Because, there was nothing to do but play games at my dad's house because I didn't want to ever leave my bedroom because it was my dad's house. But when I was at my mom's house, we'd watch TV, we'd watch movies, I'd go outside and play with my friends in the neighborhood. But I was all about PlayStation. When PlayStation 2 came out, like Tony Hawk, like
Resident Evil.
I was
at least for me, for PlayStation.
I was all about my PlayStation 2. And then I played Halo Combat Evolved on my buddy's Xbox. Oh. And I was like, do you mean you can play with other people?
The introduction to, online.
We can play, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is the greatest game I've ever seen. The graphics are incredible. There's a story. I mean, you can link up your Xbox with other Xboxes, and There's something called Xbox Live that you can go on the internet on your what?
The very first mind blown is always the best.
And
like, whoa.
That was the moment. And it was probably the scariest moment. I mean, I've been to Africa. I've been married. I've done a lot of things that have scared me. But nothing in this world has ever scared me like the day I packed up my PlayStation 2, all of my video games and controllers, and traded them into Game Crazy. That's right. Game Crazy.
Oh, Game Crazy.
And bought the Xbox. And
it's supposed to be some sort of a gaming shop. What is this Game Crazy you speak of?
Game Crazy was a video game
I'm kidding.
store. For those of you who are under the age of 20, it was a video game store, kind of like GameStop is, but it was attached to what was known at the time as a Hollywood Video. And it was without a doubt the best gaming store ever. I mean, nothing else compares. Nothing. Not GameStop, nothing. Okay?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Game Crazy was more for the gamer. GameStop is just more for the profit. I mean, it sucks because, you get the, I miss Game Crazy. I just really wanna.
You definitely have a point there. GameStop is definitely more about profit than it is about the gamer.
Because think about it. You were buying PlayStation 2 games and reserving your PlayStation 3 games, and if you found a Game Crazy, they were still selling you SNES games and Nintendo 64 games. Profit margin? None. But what were they doing? They were giving you what you wanted, and it sucks when you, as a gamer, to lose those kind of, and now you have to go to swap meets where people will sell you, Nintendo 64 games for like $80, because they're like, yeah, and it's terrible.
We went to what was it? There's a gaming store around here that has, that sells pretty much every single system, and to get the Zelda, the gold edition was like $120 for one of those.
Yeah. See,
the one for the Nintendo 64? Is that what it was called? Oh man, I don't remember.
Oh, I think the gold version, wasn't that for the GameCube that had like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and
yeah. Is that what I'm thinking about? Okay, man.
Yeah, that's the one. But I mean, even then, when that first came out, that was like a $60 game.
Yeah.
That was intense, like it was just really, you had to save. I mean, you had to do a lot of terrible things to save up to get that game, and well, enough about
digging people's trash cans for that 5-cent can.
Back to what I was saying. Alright, so I bought my Xbox. And then there was an Xbox exclusive game that changed my life. Everything was different after that moment. And that game was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And I switched from being the guy who plays a couple hours on the weekend with his friends at their house to somebody who would lock themselves in a dark room wearing a Sith robe for hours, for days. And I'd play that game. And then when I found out that there was more than one ending, I played it again.
You have to. You can't just, let it sit there, If there's more than one, you gotta do it. Like, there's no option.
Somebody types really loud, just so you guys know. You guys have fingers like steel.
That's probably Andy.
It sounds like
he's
Superman
gaming
typing.
right now.
Definitely what Andy's. Never mind. Okay.
No. It's definitely not me. I know who it is. It's Kat, and don't try to put the blame on me.
Damn it!
Look at you. It's like
I'm talking to our fans. Okay.
It's like farting in a crowded room and
Where
trying to blame the
are you talking
Mexican.
to fans at? I don't see anything.
We have fans?
I'm talking to them on Facebook, and
she's talking to Robin. She's talking to Robin right now.
I am not talking.
I love Robin. Robin's our number one fan. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so that was Star Wars Knights of the Republic was the game that changed my life. And speaking of these kind of games, I'm going to ask you guys another question. Which game out of all the games that were on previous consoles and such which game do you feel needs an HD remake? Like DuckTales was remade, you know, and put to Xbox and PlayStation.
That's amazing.
You know, Fables, Halo Combat Evolved. These are all games that have got an HD remake. What games do you think need an HD remake? Let's start off with Gus.
Yeah, Les, please. So I've been thinking about this when I first came across this question. Now let me go ahead and just explain why I chose this game. Now in my opinion, at that time, now an HD remake, I mean, don't change a thing about the game except maybe add a multiplayer to it. But don't change a thing. Just HD it out. Make it multiplayer so that it's, you know, online, not like how before you used to hook up 4 controllers to the system and play with all your friends in a living room or a dark room in a Sith robe. I would say it's Perfect Dark that came out for the Nintendo 64.
Wow.
Oh,
Pure
Yeah.
Dark?
oh my
Perfect
God.
Dark.
Nostalgia.
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark.
Wow.
That is, and you know what? It's been killing me because even as a child, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way multiplayer gaming is going to get more advanced than this. Granted, then we went on the internet and all that stuff, but Perfect Dark, that was kind of like a mixture of, you know, it's like 007 GoldenEye at the time. It was like GoldenEye, and an alien, like some automaton from like some robotic alien from somewhere in outer space, literally fornicated, had a baby, and made this game. And I was just like, this is the greatest thing ever. There's no way you can remake this. And until this day, I still feel, if you go back and play it, which one of these days I will let you guys play it. I'll let you guys touch my Nintendo 64.
Dude, I don't have any anymore. I would just steal
Aww.
it.
That game, I feel, deserves not only an HD remake, but definitely a multiplayer base, like, online.
That'd be fun.
Dark. Huh?
Perfect Dark. Oh yes.
Okay. Kat, what about you, since you're so chatty?
You guys are probably gonna laugh at me with the games that I think, would be really awesome to deserve a remake. Yes, you guys are gonna laugh at me. I think what I would love, because it was one of the first games besides Zelda and everything that I played that I thought was amazing, was Paperboy. I know that's kind of funny.
Can you imagine a multiplayer for Paperboy?
Hell yeah, and throwing stuff at people would be awesome.
That's a lot of angry CPU citizens.
Yeah, I honestly think that Paperboy remake would be awesome. And then if there's one other game that I remember from Nintendo that I would absolutely love to have a remake and actually have it done right, because I remember watching E3, because I watch it every year, that I got super excited about this game. In fact, you know, I was just jumping up and down. I tweeted it like crazy. I was all over the net about it. I was all about this game. In fact, I wanted to go buy a Wii because I wanted to play this game. But then I saw the reviews and people are just, you know, they just didn't say that it was good. But I would love to have one of the games that changed before Halo even came out, that changed multiplayer gaming, is GoldenEye. I would love to have a GoldenEye that is an actually good version of GoldenEye that's a remake in HD that I could love again, play multiplayer. It would be awesome, you know, and I really, you know, I feel sad for Nintendo because they had such an evolutionary game and they could have made it so much more better than what it was. And they didn't. They failed miserably at it. And give me a GoldenEye across all platforms, you know, or even if you want to stick with Nintendo, but I don't even think it would work with Nintendo. Across all platforms, that would be epic and amazing. And I think I don't know. I think I'd be hooked for hours.
Oh, definitely. Now, no, let me just ask you one thing, Kat, about the Paperboy remake. How great would it be to have the option of being on the other end? You know, like not throwing the paper, but you were the guy who was opening the door, was like, hey, where's my paper? Or, you know, like, what the heck? That was my window. You know, like, what if you had the ability to actually be the citizen, only this time you get guns or something. I don't know, like something.
But here's the thing. We all know that's gonna end up like, Better Off Dead. For those of you guys who don't remember that 80s movie, Kat, why don't you go a little bit?
Better Off Dead. Where's my $2? $2! But yeah, Better Off Dead, man. I mean, this Paperboy, man, like broke every single window in his garage, and the dad would wake up and he would have nightmares. He'd have nightmares about this Paperboy. Nightmares.
I win. I got the audio to work on Twitch. I win. Sorry.
You know, I was a little confused at first, but now I'm like, okay, that's something we're working on for a while.
Yeah, at first I was afraid. I was
like, you win? Paperboy, you win at? Okay, alright, cool.
Like, yeah, congratulations. I think we all won at Paperboy.
Oh, Paul versus the machine. I win. Alright.
And I thought I was the only one playing games right now.
Paul against the machine. There we go. That's the name of our band.
Okay. Alright, so tell your friends, get online now. Because they can hear us.
It's funny because my only friends are in this Skype call, so I don't really know what to do.
Aww.
Oh, yeah. But all Andy's friends are in New Zealand, so what does that say? Alright, so, Paperboy. Alright, that's exciting. Moving on, Andy, what about you?
You know, after hearing your guys' responses and thinking about it, you know, I tried looking for the game, but I couldn't quite find it. But the one game that I remember playing as a child that I just remember being super epic at the time, since this was a very popular theme for almost everyone when I was growing up, was dinosaurs. So The Lost World, Jurassic Park, for the Sega Genesis.
That is the hardest game ever.
The hardest game in the world.
Does anybody remember playing that game at the arcade?
Oh, don't even
God.
Worst. That was the worst. But yet, for some reason, you still spent $6 when it used to be 25 cents a play. You still spent $6.
You would sit there and just dish out your entire, like, quarter piggyback savings on that arcade game. And there's this one specific game that came out for the Sega Genesis console, and I can't, you know, quite find the game, but yes, Jurassic Park, definitely.
That's crazy. I just remember, like, did anybody get, like, past, like, after the T-Rex was running at you?
T-Rex runs at you?
Yeah. Like,
Dude, I don't think I got past the Triceratops, like.
Oh god,
wow,
right?
epic.
They jumped at you like crazy and killed you like crazy.
I think when I got to like the second wave of Velociraptors, I was just done. I was like, forget it. I got to the point where I just put the gun down. I was like, I accept my defeat. You know what? I'm man enough to accept this defeat. Who can honestly say that they lasted this long against dinosaurs? I did. I'm done. I'm done.
Then Ian Malcolm could. He survived 2 movies. But unfortunately, Jeff Goldblum's career didn't survive.
Oh, come on.
That was funny. What?
That was funny. That was pretty funny.
I really hope he's not listening. I really hope Jeff Goldblum does.
I know. I get a cease and desist letter. Do never ever talk about Jeff Goldblum.
Oh God.
Cease and desist right now.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, whoa,
Andy.
Oh, Andy.
Andy, that's...
What, was it loud?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, what happened to it?
Oh my god, what happened to it? I don't know, it obviously got angry.
Yeah, it did. It's assaulting, this awesome, you know, actor.
Yeah, right. Alright, so just so everybody knows, Andy's probably playing Diablo 3 right now.
No, he's switched over to World of Warcraft now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, alright, so, for me, the game that needs an HD remake is Knights of the Old Republic.
Blech.
Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, needs one because there are so many children out there that deserve the joy and love that I got from that game. And also, they need to make a friendship with Bastilla.
You know, I can understand that.
It's seriously, it's like, that game for me it was exactly like the moment I watched Empire Strikes Back. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Spoiler alert. In case you guys haven't watched Empire Strikes Back, mute your microphone for like 3 seconds.
Nice.
Wow.
Vader,
Actually, no. Just get out of the call.
When I found out that Vader was Luke's father, my little 6-year-old mind was blown. Okay?
Yeah, it can't be true. No,
I'm not gonna drop the big reveal in Knights of the Old Republic, but for the first time in my life,
it is pretty crazy.
I have that moment, and I will never ever forget it or let go of it. I need an HD remake, BioWare.
Or even a continuation of the game, because God, we got Battlefront, dude, coming out, which I jumped up. I swear I did a backflip, like, in the middle.
Wait. Battlefront, is that coming out for, actually.
That's coming out, on the new next gen.
EA now has exclusive rights to LucasArts games through Disney. And so, they need to make it. And because EA is the publisher of BioWare, this should happen. It should happen. They need to make it. I've been writing them letters.
Yeah, he pretty much does.
Okay, so, now, moving on to our next question, and this is actually, it kind of follows the RPG line. I assume that all 3 of you play RPGs. I know one of you do, Kat.
Yep.
Gus, do you?
Oh yeah, RPG. I even play them in real life. I mean, I'm a LARPer.
I love it.
And I'm also very, very, very open in the bourgeois. If we're gonna get into that.
Hey, LARPing is fun, man. That's what happened with us, man, when we're standing in line. We LARPed you guys, you know?
Yeah, you guys LARPed me pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So you guys aren't actually a couple, you're pretending? Like this whole time, what?
Yeah, no, mine.
We're pretending just about as much as Tom Cruise was.
Mine blown, Andy. Blown.
Oh my God. Tom Cruise, man.
Okay.
Am I the only one who loves him?
Yes.
Dude, no. Top Gun.
There. Thank you.
Oh my God, really? One movie.
Top Gun is all he needed.
Matters.
Here's the thing is, everybody gets a movie. Okay, Kristen Stewart was in Zathura.
Can we get a
Zathura was
theme
fun.
song? You know, playing here?
For my 15-year-old self.
Who was in Zathura?
Kristen Stewart with Josh Hutchinson.
Who's Chris? What?
Exactly. Well, alright, so, anyways, on to the real question. When playing an RPG, alright, you get the choice between doing something good, doing something bad, okay? For example, there is a guy who says, "Sir, my family is dying from starvation. Can you spare some coins? I received some other coins from this person here, but I need more." Do you, A, give him a coin? Do you give him 10 coins? Or do you rob him? What's your choice?
Can I start with this one? Because I feel like I would give the most real answer here.
Yes.
Because we're all thinking it, but I'm going to say it. I would give him 10 coins. And when he's very happy about it and turns his back, I would kill him and take my 10 coins and whatever coins that whoever gave him before that, and I would have probably about 15 coins. Profit. That's all that the game's about. Thank you.
Alright, by the way, real quick little side note. Does it bother you guys as much as it bothers me when games screw you for being a good guy?
Yes! Oh my God!
Yes.
Okay, I had this. Wait. I'm gonna elaborate on this. Okay, I had the most. Okay, I've been playing Dragon Age. Okay, because Dragon Age is awesome. All right, so I've been playing Dragon Age. So if any of you guys have me on Facebook, you guys have been seeing me like crazy posting about Dragon Age. Okay, so freaking Alistair's stupid butt. Okay, so I'm stuck in a predicament. Okay, I'm stuck in a predicament with this child. Okay, so I have a child and a mom. All right. Mom's upset because child has been possessed by a demon. she's like, don't kill him, and blah, 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 and she's like going on, and I feel bad because poor child, like he's a demon, what do I do? And she's like, don't kill him, he doesn't know what he does, blah, 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 blah. So then this other so this magic guy comes over to me and he tells me, this mage, and he goes, yeah, well, there's this ritual that we can do that will release the child from being a demon. However, we have to basically there has to be a sacrifice of some sort. So the mom is like, all right, cool. I'll sacrifice myself for this kid because Paul ended up screwing me when I was playing, by the way, because I went to the
appropriate.
Guess.
No, so I went
what is this?
So I went to the Mages Guild and I went to go battle something and she kept telling me to use whatever, and for some reason I am so not good in RPGs with using the circle dialogue, like I don't get it. So basically, I didn't know I was supposed to use this stupid spell, and so I ended up losing all the mages and had the other people who were, the people who fought against the mages, in a sense. So I couldn't use the mages anymore. The Templars, thank you. I couldn't use the mages during this act of, let's save this kid. So I was like, well, I don't want to be an ass, and totally kill this kid, because I don't think that's right. So the mom is like, I'm willing to sacrifice myself to keep my kid because he deserves to live. So I'm like, cool, alright, sounds great. So I go save this kid, do the sacrifice, kill the girl, go back to my camp, and then Alistair chews me out. And it's like, how could you use blood magic and blah, 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 blah. And this is the guy who I have the relationship with, by the way, in the game. So I'm like, damn it. So now he dislikes me 30%. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go back and replay it. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go kill this kid. Right? So I go in Dragon Age to go kill this kid. And the whole time, I'm going to go kill this kid, he's like, don't kill me. Not only did he say, no, kill me, it's like 10 minutes of him telling me not to kill him, making me feel like an ass for wanting to kill him so I can keep Alistair from liking me.
Okay, so, but I actually meant financially.
Well, I'm just saying, in a sense, that games screw you in that way. When you were saying games screw you either way, because after I killed this kid, I went back to the camp and Alistair still hated me. How could you kill a child? I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no winning in this game. There really isn't any winning in this game. So in all honesty, for me, if I had to choose, I always go good if I can, because I feel guilty any other way. I guess I'm just an innocent soul.
I honestly think that your biggest mistake was trusting a mage.
This is so true.
I don't know about you guys, but in every single game that I've played, it's the mage.
It sounds like you'd be a member of the Chantry in Dragon Age, and possibly a Templar. That magic was what's the chant? Magic was given to man to serve man, not to rule him. And you can never trust a mage. A mage must be watched all the time.
See?
Probably.
Just like warlocks.
Oh no, leave the warlocks alone.
Yeah, warlocks, blood mages, they all die.
Every single one of them.
Okay, Andy, what about you? What do you choose?
He chooses to be a hater.
Do you light or do you dark?
See, I'm gonna go with what Kat said. Only it's for a completely different reason. It's not because I feel bad, but it's because I dislike the other side so much. But I would go good versus bad, just because in my own little head, in my little world, I try and picture who would want to play the bad guy, who would want to, who enjoys having fun at the expense of others, which is generally, the bad guy personality. So, I would devote, my, I guess you could say gaming abilities, to destroy their plans, make them, regret their decision in every way I possibly can.
Okay.
Point proven, Paul.
No, but
Sorry.
here's the thing: is everybody always says first. I am a paragon. I am a good guy through and through. It is so difficult for me to actually choose a negative or a bad guy or a renegade response to things. I have trouble with it. I have trouble with it a lot. Like, so much so, I'll play a game like, I am going to go through this renegade style. I'm going through this dark side. And for some reason at the end of the game, I'm good. Because I just can't do it. It's not in me to be, I mean, I could be snarky. I could say things that come off like an a-hole all the time.
But why though? Like, why can't you play the bad side?
Because I'm a good, for me, I just can't do it. It's impossible. Like, I know it sounds really weird, but it's impossible for me to choose something bad. Because I feel guilty. I guess that's what it is. I feel guilty.
You feel the guilt, because I'll tell you this, after I murdered that kid, like, I took it straight to Facebook and I was like, I feel like the most horrible person in the world for murdering this kid. And, I mean, Paul, you know, because you were sitting next to me when I was playing, I literally was like, for 20 minutes, like, sat there with the dialogue just on the screen, because I was like, wow, this kid, honestly, is just like begging me not to kill him. Like, and it sucked because he wasn't even the demon anymore. He was the kid. So I wasn't talking to the demon, I was talking to the kid. And he's like, I know not what I do. And I'm like, oh my god. I feel horrible. I'm just gonna have to kill you.
He must die for the greater good.
Yes.
let me pose a question to anybody who's listening right now, because I got the sound working and I'm awesome. And you three right now. Do you think your choice in morality in video games, is connected to who you are in real life?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Do you think that though somebody might be a really nice guy, but in a game they choose to be a bad guy? Do you think deep down inside, if they could, they would be a bad guy? And deep down inside, like, if they had power, if they could, they would be a villain.
I think that's a very dangerous question. No rules, would you go and be a bad guy in real life?
Well, I'm not saying no rules.
Should I give the politically correct answer?
That's gonna say no rules implies there is no good and evil.
See, and I think that's why for me, like, why I can't play Grand Theft Auto games, in all honesty, because it's a lot of people love those games and I'm totally not knocking them at all. I just can't run around doing bad things, in all honesty. I can't run around just beating up people, and not beating up people, but I just think it's senseless for me, in all honesty. Maybe because in real life, that is just who I am as a person. I don't know. Like, for me, it's just not a game for me. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do it.
Okay. Alright, and so, we're gonna be our last, question, our last segment of our very first Everyday Nerd podcast. I like to call it Convince Paul. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of a cynical person when it comes to certain things. There's a lot of things that people love that I just can't get into. Okay? I can't do it. I've tried. I don't know if I've tried, because I can't honestly say that I've tried. But I want you guys to convince me of a few things. And this is basically mostly directed towards anybody out there who's listening who does this specific thing, and to Gus and Andy, because Andy's currently doing it. I can't stand MMOs. I can't. I'll tell you my reasons, and then you guys can maybe tell me why I'm wrong. Okay?
That's good. I can work with that.
I can't stand that there's missions that I can't do by myself.
Mm.
I can't stand that I can't jump into the game, 4 or 5 months after it started and play with my friends because they're all level 800. I can't stand the fact that in order to complete this with my friends, I have to play for 4 hours in one dungeon. And I can't just leave, because if I leave, I abandon my team. Alright, so, these are 3 reasons why I don't like MMOs, and also I don't like that there's no, like, dialogue. That I don't like reading my video games anymore. I've gotten lazy. This isn't the days of PlayStation 2 and Xbox. This isn't the days of Super Nintendo and N64 and Sega. This is the modern age.
Oh man.
Why can't you just talk to me? Why do I have to read it?
I think I hate MMOs now. Sad face.
Which, by the way, real quick, I find it incredibly funny that games that you would have to read, anything on a screen, you'd have to read, dialogue or character strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that, were in a time where you couldn't read anything on a TV. Because resolution sucks so bad. And they never made the font big enough for people to read. That's why I've never finished Morrowind. But in a time where we have perfectly crystal clear, HD 1080 TVs and projectors and computer screens and even on the verge of 4K technology, you don't read much anymore on your TV. I just find that funny. But anyways, convince me, please.
See, and Paul, I'll just say, that is my biggest thing of why I never got into MMOs is because of the fact that the only way to experience, have a rewarding game experience is having that large coordinated team to help you complete it. So it's if you don't know somebody, then it's, But, there are a lot of strengths to MMOs, though.
So
here's my take on this. Now, and Andy, I'm going to come in and Andy's not only going to sweep it up, but he's going to perfect it. Because this is Andy. Now,
Andy's batting cleanup.
Andy's batting he's going to pick up my mess because my MMO experience is pretty casual.
This is why it's perfect. His MMO experience is, I have failed and learned from my mistakes introducing him into an MMO, so I'm actually really curious as to what he needs to say, or what he wants to say. So, go ahead.
And you can't say, one thing you guys can't say is you've never tried. Because I tried. I tried with the Old Republic, and I did my 1 month free of WoW. Okay? And that was only to make sure that a trade went through in fantasy football.
And I'm still disappointed in you because you were supposed to play with me. But
I tried.
I
played.
And you never added me either.
And you never added us, so there's no proof.
Oh,
No!
Kat was there. She'll
No,
we're not using the wife card. That's no fair. That's no fair.
How many hours did you log, I'm gonna say?
Probably 20.
Minutes?
No. 20 minutes, I would say. Anyway, so basically, here's my deal with it. Now the mechanics of the games, as far as I guess your deal was questing. You weren't really much of a quester. You were more of the grinding type. Now, one great thing about it is sometimes you don't really have to read the game. I don't know. World of Warcraft. Now I'm going to jump on World of Warcraft because that, in my opinion, is probably one of the most popular MMORPGs. Actually, I would say the most popular because it has millions of players still active. Now, as far as your teamwork goes with friends, now I understand you wanting to play with friends, but the thing is, it's not hard to catch up. The way that game is set is the leveling process. As far as that game progresses, the leveling is a lot faster. So as opposed to taking, let's just say for example, if you played pretty hard, 2 weeks to get to your max level, back when the level cap was 80. Now it's 85? it gets a lot faster to get to 80 than it did before, and you're playing pretty much the same amount of time as those who were going from 80 to 85. As far as raids and guilds, I mean, you do have the option of playing with your friends, but you also have the option of playing with people you don't know. You know, getting to build certain relationships with people that you've never socialized with before. You know, and having this strong and diverse group of players from all over the world. You know, I mean, this is teamwork that you're doing. You're going into all these different scenarios that you're not, you know, that you haven't done together, but you each have your specific roles to play. You're each important. There is not one role that is absolutely more important than the other, in my opinion. Granted, you have your healer, which is like, you know, save the healer, save the world. You have your tank, where it's like keep him alive, or, you know, you freaking, you know, you're all dead. And then you have your DPS, or damage per second, which are the people who are like, hey, we need you guys to attack this guy, or else the tank and the healer are there for a very long time.
See,
and
I'm
that's not a fun
Jenkins.
time. You're a Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
Well, then maybe you should have gone with something better than a warrior, Paul. You should have gone like paladin or something. You know, you can't Leroy.
Was a paladin.
What? Leroy was a paladin. Leroy was a paladin. And the thing is, you run in there as a level 10 warrior. You know what? I promise you can't Leroy. You cannot Leroy.
You can't Leroy unless you're good buddy Bullybo is there on his
unless you're a freaking Bullybo. Unless you're a Bullybo.
But I will tell you this though, Paul, and you know, from our I guess you could say experiences with MMOs. I mean, the one game that wasn't specifically an MMO, but technically was, because it's a multiplayer, you know, platform, DayZ. You know you love that game.
No, that's true. Actually, you know what? That would be considered an MMO.
I like watching that game.
DayZ was fun, but it was terrifying. And I mean, it was terrifying, because I will tell you this though, like, a couple times that I played it, but then the one time that I first played that game, when I was at Anthony's house, I literally sat there for like, 2 hours? And like, he's also, did you get anywhere? I'm like, I haven't moved. I've literally walked around and I'm starting to get hungry and there's zombies everywhere. I'm terrified. I'm terrified.
Literally though, she meant literally. She was getting hungry.
Yeah.
Not her character. Just her.
No. Me and my character too.
She was cold and hungry.
See? MMO.
Yeah.
See, now, before I even say anything, I want to actually ask you something. When you said you don't like that you need more people to, you know, play your game effectively, I guess you would say, how is that any different from the games you play now that are multiplayer? Like, you'll join in a game in Halo and you're doing a game with like random players and you're all working towards a goal, you know, like, oh, we need to get this flag, I'll defend you while I go in, or, you know, like, I'll be in the passenger seat, you drive this car to victory and I'll like slaughter one on my machine gun.
Well, you see, the thing is...
Yeah, Paul, play capture the flag 1v5. Just do it.
Actually, I'm looking forward to a game called Evolve, which is a,
gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be a shooter game, and it's gonna be multiplayer. But, here, the concept is there's a team of four hunters, and then there's one person on the other team who's a monster. And it's kill or be killed. And that game is appealing to me because I don't have to play with anybody else. I can be the monster.
But, hold on. So when you're the monster, how do you win? You just kill every...
The objective is to try to kill the team. But it's like, you can't just run at the team, right? Because you're weak. Like, you could spend hours building yourself up
hours,
and running.
I think
Yeah, hours.
It's like, the game's got a time limit.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does, but we'll confirm that at another time.
We'll confirm that, yeah.
But,
I don't think it does though.
Basically, there's also like deer and different animals kind of just running around, and as the monster, the more you eat, the more powerful you become. So the first beginning of the game, they're hunting you, and you're hunting an animal trying to level up, trying to get stronger. And then at some point in the game, you're powerful. Then they become the hunted. And you see, I play games like Call of Duty and Halo and stuff like that. But honestly, I play Halo for the story because it's one of the very few shooters that has an incredible story that I'm into. The only real time I play, online or shooters online is when somebody else is playing too. Like if Kat wants to play, or if Tony, Dante wants to play some Call of Duty or something, I'll jump on. But if I have my choice, if I'm sitting there and I've got, Dragon Age 3 in one hand and Titanfall in the other, I'm gonna choose Dragon Age. And mixing the two, it just doesn't feel right.
See, and you know what, and the same goes with some games too, that a lot of the games that have really good stories, when they throw in a multiplayer just to get people to play on multiplayer, which is so not necessary to have multiplayer. Like there are games where you could have, like Halo, you're always gonna have a multiplayer with that. You're always gonna have a multiplayer. Call of Duty, we know, is a multiplayer. But games like Tomb Raider or Far Cry, like, you really don't need a multiplayer.
You really don't, but we're in a state right now, like, where everyone just has this weird need for social interaction.
That's true.
Everyone wants to be connected at all times.
Because nobody plays outside anymore.
No, and think about it. You have 6 different applications on your phone right now. 6 different applications just to be connected with the same people.
But
and all 6.
And here's what's actually funny is that they all link to like one thing on your phone.
And they all link to the exact same thing. Exactly.
You can Facebook, tweet, and Instagram with one button, and yet you still have all the apps. It makes no sense.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And the next thing you know, I mean, you have a game like Tomb Raider. Think about it. You were playing you're playing this game as
Cat.
What?
Furiously typing away.
Sorry, it's not me. It's my mic. I'm sorry. I won't type anymore. I'm done.
Your mic is typing. Your mic is. Oh.
Now I know how my coworkers must feel when I'm sitting on my laptop at home and have my mic on. Jesus.
That's insane.
That's why your coworkers don't buy you pretty things.
Okay, so, but I mean, back to the. Yeah, see, people in the chat are even like, or person in the chat is even like, Ty, it's like, wow, that's some crazy typing. You can type gently. I'm pretty sure your keyboard would appreciate it, a little bit of love.
Whatever, I'm typing out loud. Look, type.
Okay, but anyways, the thing is that you go outside and play, odds are, in parents' and children's minds, you're gonna run into a child molester or serial killer.
What kind of age do you live in?
Dude.
Never ran into one.
Are you sure? Well, have you seen your neighborhood? Okay, fine, your neighborhood. You're likely to get mugged. Okay? But, online, when you're playing online, odds are, you're playing with a serial killer or a child molester. You don't know that. You can't see their face.
But that serial killer or child molester is now your tank, and you need to, help him. He's now your best friend.
Well, it's the thing is that, I mean, Paul, I have to agree with you because I'll tell you this. When I'm gaming, and Paul can tell you this because if you look at my friends list, I have a gazillion friends on Xbox. But if, in all honesty, which is funny because I said Xbox and my Xbox heard me. That's funny. But if, in all honesty, if I'm on my mic and I say one word and they're like, oh, it's a girl. And then it's like add, like crazy. Like, hey, how you doing? It's ridiculous. And Paul can even tell you from experience because I actually played a joke on some people because I was talking. He was like, oh, are you a girl or whatever or whatnot? After I was talking to him like you really don't know that I'm a girl, you know? And it was funny because Paul took my mic and he goes, yeah. And then they're like, oh!
Yeah. You weren't talking, you were just playing, and then they got on the chat, you know, on the Xbox Live chat, and they're like, yeah, Hectic Kitten, are you a girl? Are you hot? And then I got on, I you know, unmuted her mic, and I'm like, I did, you know, full on like, Dr. Girlfriend voice. I'm like, yeah, I'm like super hot. And they're like, oh my god! And it made me laugh.
But you guys should see the amount of people, you know, and that's the thing is for me with MMOs, like, it's hard for me to play an MMO game because of the fact that I'm a chick. Like, I know that I would have like a gazillion people at me.
No. See, that's where you're wrong. You know, that's just a huge, you know, misconception of MMOs. And honestly, that is not the case anymore. I think that's more the case with FPS and console games than it is with MMOs. And that's just from my personal experience. I don't know if you've ever, you know, had the best of both worlds, but yeah, like I would just have to disagree. It's a lot less likely to happen in an MMO than it is, you know, playing Call of Duty or Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, the thing is that it's easier for me to mute my mic when I'm on a console playing a multiplayer just to play it.
Cause you can't mute in real life.
Yeah, shut up.
In real life, you just can't do. It's been attempted, but it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work for me. No, it doesn't. And I was gonna say something else, but I won't because Gus will take it the wrong way. You could definitely mute not talking to people. But on MMOs, it's kind of like you kind of have to talk to people. I mean, granted, you could type in your keyboard and stuff like that, you know, to them or whatever. But I don't know. But
well, it's not like you have to walk around and say, hey everybody, I'm a chick. Now, if you make your avatar or your character a chick, like in World of Warcraft, every guy has like 2 chick characters at least. Like, as a matter of fact, like, I don't know about you, Andy, or anybody else who's played MMOs, or anybody else who can hear me, but how many times have you had to tell people that you were a girl just to get help on MMOs? Or just to get like, you know, oh man, I can use like 500 gold. Hey everybody, can I get 500 gold? And everyone's like, F off, go away. But then you're like, hey, does anybody want to give this hot chick 500 gold? It's like, next thing I know, you have 62 trade requests pending.
No,
you know?
See, that has been tossed around so much in the MMO, you know, gaming world that it's just like, you know, go screw yourself, nobody cares you're a girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you're gonna try and use your, like, gender to try and, like, get ahead of the game, you know, then, like, you know, like, I think you'll find more of a negative response that you're trying to do it than, you know, friend request.
Interesting. Are you convinced?
I'll try World of Warcraft.
Alright, so,
we didn't tackle pause subject though. This is something different completely.
Okay, Andy, wrap it up. Wrap it up for me. Wrap up this whole podcast and tell me why I should play an MMO. And I will not accept the response because I'm on, dude. I'm not gonna accept that. Because if that worked, Gus would own an Xbox.
That's true.
And so would Ty. If that excuse worked, you guys would both own Xboxes.
Well, how about this? Captain America plays World of Warcraft.
No, Captain America still has a flip phone.
Captain America is World of Warcraft. That's all I have to say.
No,
Andy, wrap it up.
He would say there's only one man with a shield, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that. Wow, really? Nothing for... Okay.
I find you quite witty, sir.
Thank you. Okay, go on. Andy.
You know, I think I'm gonna tackle just one of them, cause if I don't, then it'll just extend far beyond the time that we have. But, you said that you don't like the fact that you need to, you know, play in a group that you, like, oh, I can't play an MMO by myself. I always need to be, you know, like, I need to have someone else to play with to, like, complete this, you know, content that takes 15 people. But, you know, generally MMOs work the same way as other online games where you could just, you know, click a button and you queue yourself into a random queue for that content that takes 5 or more people. You know, you could completely skip the questing and reading and all the dialogue that you wish to skip because you just don't like that. And, you know, even with a lot of MMOs now, they'll have a lot of like, you know, like you'll start this quest and we'll move your character to said location because of, you know, the MMO, gaming community or developers trying to get people like you to play their games. But that's just, you know, dumbing down the game a bit too much if you ask me. Like, is that something you really want? You just want the game, you know, to hand you everything and you just want no work or effort towards it? If that's really the case, then, you know, maybe MMOs just aren't for you.
Dude, try to play Mass Effect, okay? And tell me that's not work.
Well, see, I've never played Mass Effect, so I can't really go there. But, you know,
You've never played MMOs, Paul. Like...
No, I know, but like, here's the thing. I'll give you an example. I'm playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I am such a huge fan of the Dark Lord Darth Revan. Maybe he was reformed, maybe he wasn't, maybe he was a Jedi Revan. If you read the books, he was reformed, but that's a completely different point. I found out that there was a mission on The Old Republic, a side quest, that you can go and find Darth Revan 300 years after they believed he had died. Now, in order to complete this mission, you had to have 4 people. I couldn't get anybody to quest with me. And at that point, I'm like, I'm done.
See, but that's one of the failures of that game that WoW doesn't have. Like, that problem does not exist in World of Warcraft. The gaming community is so huge, you just simply, you know, type /2, need 4 people for a said quest, and bam, you have like 1,000 whispers. You know, instant group. If you want to do, you know, a dungeon or some sort of raid, you know, you just queue for it and you're in within 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long it is.
Dude, I don't want to wait 30 minutes to an hour. Do you know how much stuff I could do on my console in 30 minutes to an hour?
Well, you know how many things you can do in the game in 30 minutes to an hour. Like,
are you saying that I am to put my computer aside and wait for somebody to jump in the queue while I'm doing something else and just kind of
you could continue to play the game while sitting and waiting in said queue instead of trying to furiously find 4 people for one quest, which would be instantaneously in a different in a different mode that has a larger community. Because Star Wars community was pretty. It was
bad. It was bad.
Oh my gosh, 2 million people is not bad.
No, it dropped from 200 million to like 400,000 to like 200,000.
Yeah,
okay,
that was a bad community base. Yeah.
Here's what bugs me about numbers is that what bugs me about numbers is that it's anything. All right, anything that has a higher number, all of a sudden, the thing with the lower number is a failure. That bugs me.
No. See. No. A lot of people might think that, but definitely not me. It really depends on the MMO. When it comes to Star Wars, I have played it, and the one thing that didn't do it for me was just their combat system just felt stiff in comparison to WoW. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing, maybe it's not, but I've also tried Lord of the Rings Online, I've also tried, what was that other game? Rift,
yeah.
And, crap, there was another one. It was like a really slutty, like, really disgusting one. I don't even know, but.
Whoa. I don't know what kind of MMO games you're playing.
I'm just trying
but if they're slutty and disgusting, Andy, you need to get out of your house and meet a girl.
On subjects.
Sorry.
But, yeah,
Jeez,
like,
Paul.
I'm just trying to widen my experience and let you know what I've experienced. And honestly,
I love you, Andy, by the way. I love you. Okay, quiet.
MMO is a really good game if you wanted to give it a try. And I would definitely, you know, maybe next time you should add me next time you start your 1-month subscription that nobody knows about.
Okay, and here's the thing. I actually have a question for you, Andy.
Okay.
Have you ever played Ion?
No, but I wanted to try it.
Aion.
No, but I
That sounds
definitely want to
very-
try it.
That sounds very inappropriate.
I'm gonna ask Ty right now. Tell me about that game. If you can write it in the chat, I'll read it on our air. Okay. So.
I'm reading the chat. This is great.
I know, right? Here's the thing. I also don't like the idea of having to pay money each month to play a game that I bought.
Yeah,
Already.
that's like $60.
That's the definition of Xbox, though.
No, but
it's not. You don't need Live in order to play a game.
DLC is
Dude.
worst.
First of
For
all,
those games.
no, it's not.
Yes.
No, it is not. The Mass Effect DLC, dude, was at least 2 gigs of download. Okay? So you cannot even tell me that DLC is horrible. Yes, there are some games where DLC is not even worth buying. Okay? BioShock Infinite, the DLC, was freaking amazing. Okay? Another 2 freaking gigs of download. Alright? So you cannot tell me that, I mean, look at Dragon Age, okay? They had to make another disc for that game because the DLC was too big.
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same concept as a subscription fee.
No, it's not.
Especially when MMOs are
No.
constantly and introducing new content rather than,
but see, you know what,
using DLC.
And I have to agree with you there, Andy, and that was my fight about what they did with the Xbox One, was because of the fact that I wanted that for being a gamer and someone who plays consistently and loves to get achievements and loves all that aspect in games, like I really wanted that aspect of them being able to come in and add new content whenever they felt like it to a game that I already owned.
Okay, but okay, back to the subscription.
But just saying,
it's $14 a month compared to one time paying $8 for some downloadable content. I don't want to have to pay $14 a month for a game, and then all of a sudden, like, what if I don't play that month? I just threw away $14.
Yeah, but it's $14 in an entire month. You could spend $14. You could spend like $30 going to a movie, and that's like 2-3 hours versus an entire month of entertainment.
Yeah, but who play, Andy, you are not exempt for this because you play consistently all the time. Paul wouldn't play it all the time. I think that's why for him.
If you played a maximum of like 5 hours in the entire month, you already, had your money's worth.
Alright there, Andy. You should be a lobbyist for big gaming. But okay, I just actually got news that Aeon is now free. And it says, like real free. And,
you should go play it. You should go play it, Andy.
Free.
And
Like
I'm
real free.
And I'm pretty sure Gus says I'm free.
I am free. And P-Master
Nine.
T9.
It's not a 6. It's not a 6, dyslexia.
I got really excited actually. I thought it was a 6 because I'm all about 6s.
But,
yeah.
You're gonna say something.
Inappropriate? Yeah.
To P Mastery 9? His name is Ty, by the way. Ty.
Oh, P-Master T9?
Sure. Oh.
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
there we go.
I was right.
Okay, cool. I told him that he should change his name to P Master or PS4 Master Ty 9. Alright, so I'm still not sure if I'm convinced to play an MMO yet. I might try a free one. What's a good free one other than Swotar? If WoW went free, I would play.
You know what? Maybe I should get him, what do you guys, Andy, are you gonna play, gosh dang it, help me out here, babe. Skyrim Online?
I've been wanting to try it because I've heard so many good reviews about it from friends and just,
Well, because I know you played Diablo, right?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, because, Paul, maybe that could get you into it if Andy plays. Because I know how much you love Skyrim.
Yeah,
that,
but I would play it on console, not on PC.
That's true.
Now you're just being a brat.
No, I'm being am I being elitist?
Yeah.
No.
Elitist. Yeah, you're being a brat.
Like, even when it may way, the hay way. Like, I don't want it that way.
I like my hands right where they are.
So is the consensus that
Not been close-minded.
is
Perfect.
so the consensus is that my mind was made up before I went into this conversation.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're just like over you.
Okay.
We're over it.
Well, maybe if you guys come over to my house or I go to you guys' house and play on your profile, I might. Would
You don't
let
want to
me
play on Andy's
would
profile.
you let me play on your profile?
Yeah.
And there's quiet.
Yeah,
Just to try it out?
Dude, it's 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And we have Titanfall to get to.
Hey, I'm the host. I'll say when we're done, okay?
Well, that's too bad. Because
And we will be concluding this podcast tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and for sitting through all the technical errors that we had. It was our first. And so, we're pretty sure we've figured out all the bugs. Please join us back next week, same time, same place, 8:30 on Monday, and we will continue to talk about our everyday love of nerddom, period. So, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next week. This podcast is brought to you by nobody because we don't have sponsors.
yeah, we're thugs like that.
Yeah, right. And so for all of us here at the Everyday Nerd, I've been your host, Paul, and I've been here joined with Kat, Gus, and the Bull Evil himself, Andy. Thank you for joining us. Say
It was
goodnight,
a pleasure.
everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Night.